me with a crew or in the cabin, I'm the captain of my ship. I'll be the first one clocking in and the last one on my shift. Bunch of keys in my pocket, my destiny in my grip.
Pounds on a deadlift. Like my goal, I'm trying to get like above 500.
Very nice, very nice. Do you want to know mine?
Yeah, what is it?
There's so much love to share, but there's conversations that need to happen. The world should be more fair. You bring value to the convo, even if you're unaware. So for love and sharing, come to the table for Conversations with Khai.
Conversations with Khai, Episode 2, Loans and Life Lessons. Hey boss people, it's your girl Makhai the Realtor here, and I would love to welcome you back to episode 2 of Conversations with Khai. On this episode, I'll be talking to a mortgage professional about what it's like being a mortgage broker. So if you've seen him on Instagram, you know he's into finance, he's into fitness, and he just so happens to be my uncle. We're going to be talking to Kenneth Francis. So without further ado, let's get into the video, y'all.
All right, y'all. So today I have my Uncle Kenny here. He is a loan officer. So Uncle Kenny, introduce yourself. Let the people know who you are and where they could find you.
Hey, what's going on, Khai? Thank you for having me on today. I really appreciate it. I love to see what you're doing. I am a loan originator out here in my home base is Atlanta, Georgia, but I'm from New York. I'm from New York, from the Bronx. We have offices in Queens, Bronx, upstate New York, as well as down here in Georgia, where I'm at, Florida, Jersey, tri-state. So we're in a few different locations. If you have any financing questions, we'd love to assist.
Awesome. So Uncle Kenny, if you saw episode 1, then you know that I always got to start off with a game. So are you down?
I'm down. Let's get it.
All right. So guys, if you follow me on Instagram, you know I'm always doing fact or fiction. So today we're doing fact or fiction mortgage edition. So here we go. All right, Uncle Kenny. So my first statement is, you need to have a perfect credit score in order to purchase a home. Fact or fiction?
Fiction.
Ah, snap. Okay. Mortgage brokers and realtors work together on real estate transactions.
Fact.
Awesome. Okay, this one is a pre-approval and a pre-qualification are one and the same.
Fiction.
Mm-hmm. All mortgage brokers love their jobs.
Fiction.
A mortgage broker and a loan officer are one and the same.
Fiction.
Mortgage brokers are the middlemen between lenders and borrowers.
Fact.
The pre-approval process takes 3 business days and 1/2 day.
Fiction.
Awesome. So that was all the questions I had. And so, Uncle Kenny, we know that you're into fitness. If you see his Instagram, it's at Ken the Lender. But we know you love fitness. You love to be fit. So I have a few quick questions for you. What is your favorite protein shake, if any?
I actually have a few. So right now, it depends on what my goal is. Have you tried Planta by Ambrosia? It's a vegan protein.
Nope.
All right, so if y'all haven't checked it out, go and check out the Planta. They have a peanut butter and jelly. It's delicious. Yeah, they have a peanut butter and jelly. They actually have a cupcake one as well, like a French toast. They have a lot of different flavors, but the peanut butter and jelly is my favorite. And then if I'm trying to like bulk up, I would go with Optimum Whey.
Oh, all right, people. You see.
Check those out.
Uncle Kenny knows the shit. Okay, my next question is, and these are for, my gym rats out there. What is the heaviest weight you've ever lifted?
Heaviest? I I would say I would have been further along in this, but I stopped lifting heavy for a while just because like when you lift, you might get injuries or something like that. My shoulder messed up, and then I had a bad knee. But heaviest I'd say is around 460 pounds on a deadlift. Like my goal, I'm trying to get like above 500.
Very nice, very nice. Do you want to know mine?
Yeah, what is it?
15.
Let's
No,
get
I'm
it.
kidding. I'm kidding. I think it was about 50. Yes.
That's
Yes.
good.
Thank you. Thank
That's
you.
good.
Thank
That's good. That's good.
All right, Uncle Kenny. And also, we know that you recently had an injury. So, how are you feeling now? I hope you're doing better.
I am doing better. Like I broke my foot at an open house. So like y'all know I'm out here working and everything. Like yeah. I broke my foot at an open house.
That's
But
dedication.
dedication, yeah, I kept recording too. Like so yeah.
Oh, no.
So but I am doing well. I'm allowed to put pressure on it now, so I'm dying to get back out here. Go
I
to the
hear you.
streets. Yeah.
I hear you. All right, Uncle Kenny. So, we're going to hop into some questions over here. You ready?
Let's get it.
All righty. So, what is the difference between a loan officer, mortgage broker, and mortgage banker? It's loaded, but I know
All
you
right.
know.
Well, no, it's not loaded. It's a great question. All three are able to provide like home buyers with financing, right? But the difference would just be who they work for, and then the options that they can provide. So, like a mortgage banker might not be able to do certain type of programs or provide certain type of loans because they actually work for a bank, right? Versus like an independent loan originator, which is what I do. They have like access to the same programs and products that a banker would have, as well as like some out of the box programs for like say non-traditional type borrowers, whether that be like a fix and flip type loan or a commercial type product, as well as like some other things. So like a loan originator just has more options than say a banker would, and then a mortgage broker would be somebody who employs loan officers or loan originators and everything. So that's basically it. Those are the differences with those three.
Gotcha. It's awesome. I wanted to give everybody some clarification on that because I know it's the same thing with realtors, right? A realtor isn't the same as a real estate salesperson, isn't the same as a real estate broker. So I'm
Yeah.
glad that you cleared that up for everybody. So my next question is, why are lenders important in a real estate transaction?
Well, honestly, like for anybody who's looking to buy a home, a lender is important unless you're paying like cash. If you're going in and you have a large sum of money, you have a rich grandfather, uncle, somebody who gave you 500,000, you might not need a lender, right? But if you're not paying cash, then a lender is important. A loan originator is important just to like get you financing, especially like guide you through the process with where we're at right now in the market, where rates are at, and just like if you're looking to get into investing, right, you want somebody who's knowledgeable. So that's why a lender is important in a real estate transaction.
Well said. So why did you become a mortgage broker and has your reasoning changed?
My reasoning has changed. So I initially got into to the business. I was actually going to be a realtor. Yeah, I was going to be a realtor. Like somebody who we both know was in real estate, and like I was about to get my license, and then they had the idea. They said like, oh, maybe you should get your go on the loan side, go on the lending side. And at the time in my life, it made sense, right? It made sense because we had the opportunity to work together versus like in a competing faction. Like we can work together on both sides of the spectrum, right? So it was a blessing because getting into it, I didn't know anything, and now like 5 years later, like I've learned a lot. So it's definitely been a blessing. So yeah, the goal initially was just to like start building generational wealth, get into as I mentioned, I was going the real estate route. The way it's changed, like there's still the goal to build generational wealth, is just a different avenue to do it.
Yeah.
And, like in my opinion, so a lot of people might not see, or a lot of lenders might not see it right now, but it's still like the better side. So if you're a realtor and you trying to get your lending license, like look into it.
That's right. That's right. That's what's up.
Yeah.
So my next question is, what was your experience like taking the mortgage broker exam? What was that all about?
So you know what's crazy? Like I always it's always something that a question that I get, like how many times did you have to take it? Like if you struggle with this, if you struggle with that, and both tests. Like so, I initially started lending in Canada, in Ontario, Canada, and then when I took the test there versus when I took the test here, I only took it one time. Like one time. So
Wow.
yeah, like I was like I said, I was in the process of doing the real estate exam, and then I went to yeah, it just happened overnight, honestly. I like started listening to some audiobooks, like reached out to a broker, like a broker up there, said, hey, I love what you're doing in the market. Are you hiring? He asked me, am I licensed? I said, no. He said, all right, call me back when you're licensed. I said, all right, cool. I'll call you on this date, which was like a month, 2 months in advance. And then I just like did the test. Like I studied. Yeah. Studied, crammed, did some, and then took the test. And then like when I came down here, when I came back to the US, it was the same process. I was at a different stage in my life, so it was a different like emotional experience. Just because like when I took the test, I wasn't as confident, and I wasn't sure I was gonna like pass, just because there's a lot more that you have to learn to be a licensed loan originator in the U.S. versus in Canada. Right? It's more in depth, more governing bodies, a lot more to memorize. So. Like when I passed it, I got emotional. It was a new day. I got licensed and took my exam to get licensed in 3 states one time, so it was good.
Yeah, and I bet it was not easy, because taking my real estate exam was something else. I passed on my first try for both of because you have to take 2.
Yeah.
So for my pre-licensing, because I took the courses and all that, and then my pre-licensing and then my licensing, I passed them both on the first try. But then, also with life insurance, that was an experience that I'll talk about another day. But that was the first time I ever took a class with my mom, and let's just say we both did not pass on the first try.
No, but you did it again, and then you got it, right?
Yeah, I got it on my second try. But the first time when I failed with life insurance, it was by 1 point, and I was so mad. I was so mad.
No.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like, what my broker actually like advises people to do is just to take the test, right? And then that way you know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Right. But like I don't do that, but that's what he says to do. I rather just take like a lot of practice tests and then like yeah.
I hear. So you didn't have to take any courses, like pre-licensing courses, to become a mortgage broker, right?
No, so we have to do like you have to do there's a 20-hour course, I believe. So like you do have to like put in like a certain amount of hours, and then as I mentioned, like there's a few governing bodies you have to study all of that. But like anybody can get licensed, but getting licensed, I'm sure, is the same with real estate. Like that's like a quarter of the battle and everything. Like the real lesson starts after you get your license.
Oh yeah, definitely. So my next question is, no. Okay, my next question is, can you think back to when you first started, and what did you find most challenging? But what do you find most challenging now?
All right. So when I first started, honestly, it's just the ebbs and flows of the market, right? Like when you first start, you don't know what you don't know. So like you'll have mentors and people who you'll reach out to, and then it's like, you don't know this, or like they didn't tell you this, or like, so sometimes people will expect you to know things, and then because like when you're speaking to people and having conversations, all they see is you're a lender. They don't know that you just started. and everything, right? So like you want to be on top of your game, you want to provide value, and then like you might feel nervous or like have trepidations when having certain discussions, and it'll play on your confidence and everything. So like the main thing is like being in the industry for a certain period of time, there's a level of comfort with that comes with having certain conversations, because it's not your first at bat. You've been in this situation before. So that's the biggest thing, is just the comfortability. But overall, like the main difference is just a different market, right? Like right now the market is we have like higher interest rates, and like when you have higher rates, it kind of eats at people's affordability, and like home ownership is a major goal for many, but like it's not as feasible as it would be if rates were lower. So it's definitely challenging times, but you know, like what do you say, pressure make diamonds.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that kind of reminds me of, how I feel now. Oh, there's mommy coming home. Here she comes. But that kind of reminds me of, my experience, like stepping in to the industry and everything like that, and being 18. I remember when I was taking my exam, and like my mom was looking at like all the people in my Zoom class, and she told me after I passed my exams, she was like, I'm not going to lie, and I did not want to tell you while you were doing it, but I was so nervous for you, because it's just like this little 18-year-old and all these big people, and they know. I didn't even know about taxes at that point, still learning. But it was a lot I didn't know. But I was just like, hey, I enjoy learning about this. And it was to the point where, there were people much older than me who, didn't pass their exams, and they reached out to me for like tutoring and things like that. But just, as you said, with the experience and being out in the field, it's like, it's very scary, because they're like, hey, do you know about this? And what's the market report? And then I'm like, huh? What? Who? But I got some good advice from this one realtor. He was like, hey, when people ask you what the market is, what are you going to say? And at the time I was like, I don't really know. But he said to me, you got to tell them the market. It's not about the market, but it's about what you want to do with the market.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. He's like, so, just that idea of when somebody throws a question at you, throwing a question back, but in a way for you to actually obtain knowledge, So, yeah, I definitely resonate with that.
He's a smart man, because the one who asks the questions is the one who's controlling the conversation.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Conversations with Khai.
Yeah. Let's get it.
All right, Uncle Kenny. So my next question is, how important is marketing and networking in your field?
That's when I mentioned, as far as like one of the questions you asked earlier was, sorry about that. one of the questions you asked earlier was, we were discussing like getting licensed and the biggest thing, right? And how like the course is like baby steps compared to what it's actually like and what's actually important. Marketing is everything, right? Like it's you can't hit targets that you can't see, or that you're not aiming at, or if nobody knows you, how are you going to do business, right? So like when to kind of take it back as well, that's another thing that's like different from bankers and brokers. So we're self-sourced, right? So like a lot of times it's your sphere of influence, who you know, like who knows you. It's a sales job, it's a sales position. So like marketing, networking, having conversations, and like helping each other build and grow. That's the only way you're going to be successful in this industry.
Definitely. Well said. Well said. So my next question is, what is the biggest myth about becoming a loan officer?
The biggest myth, I would say a lot of people like a lot of people don't even know it's a like a job, or like right? Yeah, because like a lot of times you'll have a lot of people who aspire to be real estate agents. I don't really hear too many people aspiring to be lenders or loan originators, loan officers, right?
Yeah.
So like I'd say the biggest myth is they think it's harder than it actually is to get into the industry. But then when it comes to like getting in the industry, like the success or like what you need to do to be successful in here is another like level, is another myth. Yeah.
Definitely. And it's funny that you say that because yeah, you hear about people saying, "Oh, like go for your real estate license." But only when you're in pursuit of that real estate license is when you start to hear about lenders, right?
Mhm.
Cuz like I remember that being a chapter in my textbook, and that was a chapter I honestly I wanted to skim over because I was like, "No, this is hard. This is like it was my hardest topic. Like anything to do with real estate law, things like that, I was getting it." But
Yeah.
then when it came to the mortgage portion, I was like, okay. And they're like, this is all you got to do, take the course to become a mortgage broker. I was like, I don't know. So it did. Yeah, that's so true what you're saying. It looked hard.
Mhm.
And then funny enough, like the next time I heard about becoming a mortgage broker was through life insurance, right? So
Mhm.
with Primerica, you're able to like do all these different avenues where you can become a mortgage broker or get your investment license and things like that. Like there's so many different avenues. So that was the second time I heard about that. So that's definitely why I'm doing this whole podcast because, my other uncle, he's going to be on the next episode. He was kind of talking about what he does and, you'll see in episode 3. And he was saying, he doesn't think a lot of people would want to do what he does. So, it's important to get these things out there for people who are young in their 20s
Mhm.
or even younger, because younger and younger people are doing boss things, right?
Yeah,
So it's just important to, push these things out there so that people could know more about it. But
definitely.
on to my next question. So how important is the relationship between a realtor and mortgage broker?
Well, we kind of go hand in hand, right? Like a lot of times. So in this industry, like I'm sure you have lenders calling you all the time, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
hitting you up because they're looking to help your clients get into homes, right? Your clients, as I mentioned, if they're not paying for a property, buying a property cash, they're going to need like financing, right? Some people can just walk into the bank and like get approved. But there are people, a segment of the population who like aren't eligible like for or need like a specific type of program or product, right? So it's just like it's a hand in hand. We're both like we both have one goal, or like we both should have one goal. Sometimes like others have different goals and everything, but no, definitely it's we go hand in hand because at the end of the day we're both like trying to help somebody get into a home, trying to help
Definitely.
a family get into a home, I should say.
I completely agree. So can you walk us through the process of obtaining a loan?
Yeah, definitely. So first step, and then like the first step I would say is to like talk to a lender, right? Like because a lot of times when somebody's looking for a loan, or they'll know they need a loan, but they'll still go look at the house first, or they'll still go reach out to the realtor first. So the
Mhm.
first step would be like to reaching out to a loan officer, reaching out to your bank, somebody who can like run your numbers, look at your figures, help you get pre-qualified, like actually look at your documents, your tax returns, letter of employment, pay stubs, like your credit, and then advise you, all right, this is how much you can qualify for. This is like where the market is, where the market's heading. And then like that way you're going, like what options you have going forward. So that's the first step. Like fill out an application. That's the first step. Fill out an application. See what options you need. See if there's things that you need to correct. And like once you have that conversation, conversations with Khai. Once you have that conversation, once you have that conversation, and you fill out that application, you know what you have to do moving forward.
Definitely. Awesome. So what documents do clients need to have prepared for an initial meeting with a mortgage broker?
Right. So initially I would say I just ran through a few of them. I didn't even know that was the next question. But but yeah, so generally you're going to need like your two W-2s, like your 1040s, so your two tax returns. If you're a 1099, whatever job is applicable to you, whatever career path, you're going to need the like at least a minimum of a 2-year history. If you recently graduated, then your schooling does count towards your 2 years. Like a recent pay stub, 2 months bank statements. That's the gist. We would look at your credit, so you don't need to bring that in. You can bring that if you wish, but you don't need to bring like your report. And yeah, photo ID, a social security card, or your passport, and we can get the ball rolling more quickly.
Awesome. So my next question is, what are some important questions that clients should ask a mortgage broker before moving forward in a transaction?
So before moving forward in the transaction, like it's important to understand your cost, right? So like a lot of times you'll have like rates don't really change from program to program, or they do change from program to program. My apologies. From lender to lender, I would say like they're going to be around the same rate range. So that is going to like determine your monthly cost or your monthly expense. But where things vary would be the closing costs, because there are other expenses that are, say, rolled into that, right? So you want to like know about any hidden fees, like what is the rate costing you, like how much like are you going to have to pay for the rate, and like how quickly can you close is another one that's important to know. In this market, it all depends, right? Like it's situation specific, because some people can close quick. Do you need like to close? Does a person do manual underwriting, right? Like if so, everybody isn't able to do manual underwriting. If something happens with your application and you already have a house under contract, and then you're like you need to go through the manual underwriting process for whatever reason, is your lender able to do that, right? So you just want to know the different options they have. And can they get you from like contract to close? Can they put you in the house? That's the main thing.
Right, definitely. So my next question is, what are some red flags to look out for when looking for a mortgage broker?
Some red flags, I would say someone who's unresponsive, because if they're unresponsive during the pre-approval process, they're probably not going to be too responsive when you're actually under contract. Right? So that's something to look out for. I would just say, yeah, that's the main thing. Like you want somebody who's going to be available. And I'm not saying, so another thing that people need to realize is like similarly to realtors, we don't get paid until you close on a home, right? So like we are working for you, but in the interim, we're working for free, right? So like a lot of times people will interview different lenders, and we're try to work with different loan originators. And like I'd say if somebody isn't like all at your beck and call 124 hours a day, that's not what I mean when I say somebody who's responsive, right? If you give somebody your documents and like so speed. If I tell you I need something and then you get it back to me, and then I'm waiting the 3.5 days, as you mentioned, to get back to you, that's an issue, right? But then like if I tell you I need something and you get it back to me, and then I get back to you within a timely manner, like that's what you want. That's the type of like relationship you want. So I'd say like just be upfront with them. If you're working with other people, you can be upfront with them as far as that too. So that way they know the options and like what they have to do to get things done.
Definitely. So my next question is, why are FHA loans so popular?
So FHA loans, like a lot of people like FHA loans, and FHA is a great program just because like it's a lower cost of entry, lower barrier to entry. They have a lot more flexibility, like when it comes to getting somebody approved, whether that be 3.5% down. I know in New York, like you can almost get like almost $1 million property with like only as low as 3.5% down, right? So it's definitely a great program. And then also like whether that be a 1 unit or a 4 unit home, like a 3-unit in the Bronx and Queens, any of the boroughs. Like it's a great way to help to wealth hack, right? Because you can get into a property, rent is like consistently rising, and still only put down that 3.5% down, and then use the rental income from the other units to help you qualify. So like FHA is a great program for like they also have what's called like say 203K loans. So whether you're looking to do a like a fixer upper, buy a property, same thing, multi-unit property, 1 through 4 units, where like say it's been sitting on the market, it needs some repairs, but you're looking to get into landlording or like being a homeowner, like in the future, right? And a real estate investor in the future is a great option for like beginners and newbies, whether you're looking to get into that fix and flip option later on, or you just want to own properties later on, or if you're just looking to build wealth, because as I mentioned, you can use the rental income from the other units to help you qualify for the home.
Right. So what financial advice would you give to clients struggling with their income or credit score?
I would say anybody who is there are options like for both, as I mentioned, like the FHA program is a great option for somebody who like isn't necessarily on the top earners, like one of the top earners, or for somebody who has lower or bruised credit. But the main thing, and that's why it's important to have the initial conversation, is to see what you can actually qualify for, and then to see if you need to make improvements, right?
Right.
Your credit goes up and down. A lot of people think it's fixed, or that if you have bruised credit, it's messed up for life. Like, no, you can improve it. There are things that you can do, steps that you can take. And that's why it's important to have those conversations with a lender or with a realtor, with somebody who's like informed on how to, like how credit works and how to boost your credit. When it comes to income, there are other options as well. Like maybe you need to take a part-time job. You do need to like be on that job for 2 years if you're going to use that part-time income. But you also have the option, like, are you receiving like spousal support? Do you get child support? Like, do you have somebody like who has disability income, like a pension? Is there a co-applicant who you can add to the loan? So there are other options, like even with FHA, a non-occupying borrowing like spouse, or somebody like the person doesn't even have to live like in the home with you to go on the loan, right? So that's why it's important to have those conversations so you can like look at your options, because a lot of times we see these different scenarios, and like we're looking at files on a daily basis, so we know the ins and outs, we know what can be done and what can't be done. So that's why it's important to have those conversations so we can like see what options you have available to you.
Definitely. Okay, so we're going to ask some questions about Uncle Ken, the lender. So how does your love for fitness impact your business?
So I'd say it's all about mindset. Like just doing something, whether you want to do it or not, like just pushing through. Because there's days that a lot of things I don't want to do with my business, like I have to do. And I'll even challenge myself because I love working out so much. So I'll say, all right, I can't work out until I do this, until I get this done. So it's like that cookie or like, or like that ice cream, that grape nut ice cream. Shout out to my Jamaicans.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but no, so definitely it's a mindset thing, right? Like if you push yourself like physically, if you like push through even when you don't want to, right? Like you struggle, you find a way through. It like how you do one thing is how you do everything. I remember like a quote that I like is from Serena Williams, and she mentions like there are days where she didn't want to train, but like every day she wanted to be a champion, right? So like that's the way I look at it. If I want to succeed in my business, I gotta, like, the fitness is a part of it, because it's all about like it's what you're selling, basically.
Definitely.
Selling
Definitely.
success. Yeah,
That's right.
Help as well.
Health as well. That's right. It's about the consistency. I love it. So what do you attribute to your success so far?
I would say being the networking, as you mentioned, like the different podcasts, the audio books, the networking, like just surrounding yourself with people who are where you want to get to. That's a big part of it, because like being somebody who, from when you were newer in the industry, there's always like somebody who's done or been through what you're going through, right? So a lot of times, like we think everything bad is happening to us, or nobody knows what this is like and everything. But no, there's 8 billion, 9 billion people in the world. Like somebody has gone through this exact same thing, right? So it's just about like somebody has the answer. So I'd say like it's just about surrounding yourself with the right people, and like people who are successful and doing things that you want to do, and then just emulating and like copying that.
Definitely. And then I know you have 2 young Black sons. So my question is, how important is it to empower young Black men to be their own bosses?
Oh, it's definitely like so while I really 100% fully believe in entrepreneurship, everybody like entrepreneurship isn't for everybody. Like mentally, it's challenging, right? Like, so like I'd say definitely like empowering our youth so that way they don't have to work for others, or not even only working for others. Like a lot of people, so real estate is one way to build wealth, but like being a business owner, when we look back at like our community and like the businesses that we had in the past versus where we're at now, and why our like wealth as a population, as a people, is decreasing. A lot of it is because we gave up ownership in different like aspects and different like fields and everything. So if I can like inspire somebody, or like my kids or somebody else, young Black, and they see me in an industry performing at a certain like level, is definitely like powerful, because like when you see somebody who looks like you, who like yeah looks like you, I have tattoos, I have locks, like I remember somebody like hit me up in my email who I've never met before and said, hey, how did you have any issues, like how are you handling different conversations like as a Black person with locks, right? And to me, it's, I don't even think about it, but like just being able to inspire others like is powerful, because like as I said, somebody's gone through it before. So like you're the person, you could be the person that's going through that door, and that'll lead a generation to follow you. So no, I love like it's a blessing. It's a blessing. It's very, very important. I actually have a, so we didn't even like, I got my blueprint for Black Power. Can I, yeah, y'all need to check this out. This is like a 900-page book, and like I did not read the whole thing. But like since we're talking about real estate, and like this is off topic, or not off topic but impromptu, the second paragraph on here says true power must nest in ownership of real estate wherever African people dwell. Economic destiny determines biological destiny. Blueprint for Black Power details a master plan of power revolution necessary for Black survival in the 21st century. Then like yeah, I'm telling you, it goes on to say African Americans earn a take-home salary of 500 billion yearly, not to mention the trillions they generate, yet only retain 5% of this income. So a lot of times like we support other ethnicities, other communities and everything, but like as we mentioned, being that one to walk through first and everything, take some arrows in the back, let other people run ahead and everything, and then like eventually people will start supporting and like building up their own communities. Is a beautiful thing.
Definitely. And then that kind of ties into what we were talking about last week with generational wealth, financial literacy, and financial freedom, right? In our communities, and just having that understanding. Just I'm so happy you brought that book out, because that's definitely what I've been saying, is that knowledge is power, right? And so once you're aware, you can do anything you set your mind to, right? So you have faith as much as a mustard seed, you can move mountains. So yeah, so I guess my last question for you, Uncle Kenny, is what would you say to an aspiring mortgage broker?
I would say especially in today's day and age. So right now we're in, can I timestamp this or no?
Sure.
All right. So today is July. We're in mid-July 2023. And if you're looking back at this in the future, this is on YouTube, on different platforms, and you're looking back, you know where rates are at right now, because you're going to be in the future. But I would say, like, just stick to it. Just stick to it. If you stick to it and you do, even if you're not seeing the successes like initially, like, just continue to do the activities to be successful, and eventually, like the seeds you plant will grow.
Definitely. I love that, Uncle Kenny. And thank you so much for being on Conversations with Khai, episode 2, Loans and Life Lessons. This was so dope. And I hope that you can come back again and share your light with everybody. So thank you so much.
Definitely. Thank you for having me. Much appreciated. And I'll see y'all soon.
Awesome. And we're out.